Hey, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to our channel, Obodoo Farm. How's everyone doing? Hey, 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 beautiful people. How na do? Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you very much for joining me. This is just going to be a very quick one today. Very, very quick one. It's not much we can say about this, but if you have any advice, like if you know, because this is talking about jackpotting today. It's jackpot season, right? So those of you who don't understand what jackpot means, jackpot is a term that Nigerians, is the terminologies that Nigerians use to describe people who are leaving the country. Economic migrant mostly, who are looking for greener pastures in the abroad. That is the meaning of jackpot. And we are here to talk about jackpot. Lately there's been an influx of students and matured people coming into the UK. I think for some time it was like Canada. People were mainly going to Canada quite a lot when UK decided a few years ago not to give people post studies visas to work. Maybe their universities complained that they weren't getting foreign students anymore because people stopped coming here. Because I kid you not, whatever they want you to believe, I know how they're always talking rubbish about how people are coming here and doing this and doing that. But the universities make quite a lot of money from international students. The money that students, Nigerian students alone, the money they pump into UK university is no joke. Millions they pay. So I think when they realized that Nigerians were not, foreigners weren't finding it funny, mm, they decided in their wisdom that, okay, maybe the schools need this money. It's a lot of money to jackpot. It's not cheap. You have the visa fees, you have to pay your ticket. When you come here, you rent accommodation, you contribute, you work. But as usual, now our people, once they say one person going, a few people are doing something, that's what everybody wants to do. I don't know why Nigerians are like that, but we have a tendency of always like behaving like that way. And they will usually not do their homework before they leave. That's one of the issues, right? Once they say, it's UK, everybody's going now. It's Canada, everybody's going now. They say road don't open for Australia. You know, they start going. They start going. They will ask a few questions, but they never ever, most people will not sit down to do their own research. Like, okay, what is it going to cost me? So you find a lot of Nigerians of recent uprooting themselves from their jobs. Some are doing not too badly. Their businesses, they sell off. That's the worst part. They sell off their homes. They sell off their cars. They borrow money. And some people get into a lot of basic because they want to jackpot. It's something that has been, people jackpot for different reasons, right? Some people want their children to experience Western education or whatever. Some people, the main thing that is making people to jackpot from Nigeria, apart from the social, political, and economic reasons, is security. Okay, so it's been a lot of people, fleeing. And UK have been giving visas like, they've been giving a lot of visas. And I hear that they've been giving people that are coming to study for masters or some form of educational visa, they give the spouse. So if it's a man that is coming, they will give your wife and they will give her your children. So Nigerians are taking the opportunity to carry themselves without, finding out the cost of bringing the whole of their families to come to the UK, right? So this story tonight that somebody shared on social media, I'm going to play the video to you. It's similar to such stories. I mean, we see them every day on social media. I usually try not to comment about that because Nigerians, we are very funny people, right? If you live in the abroad and you try to advise people in Nigeria about the reality of living in the abroad, they see you as an enemy of progress. You don't want me to come. You don't want me to shine. You are a hater. Things like that. So I do get a lot of emails from people saying, "Oh, please, how do I come here?" I usually just, if I can bother myself, sometimes I don't even respond because I've never said that I'm into immigration. I don't know anything about immigration. So if you are writing to me and asking me how you can come to the UK, you're wasting your time. Most times I won't even bother to reply. If I do bother to respond, please, I have no information. Go and do your own research. Go and do your own homework. Because then again, if you give them information and it turns out to be wrong or not quite accurate, is you they will hold responsible. They'll put you on full blast. Yes, we are Nigerians. We know each other. We know ourselves plenty. That's so. So I am very, very careful about advising anybody. If you want to jackpot, you tell me you want to jackpot. When you come here, before you call me, welcome. Welcome to the club. Come and enjoy as we are enjoying. You will soon see the enjoyment that we are enjoying. Okay? So, I mean, it's similar to people who want to go back to Africa. You say, "Oh, I'm tired. I've been living in the abroad for 20 years. I mean, I can't collect cold in my body again. Let me go home now." And you don't do your plan, you don't plan your move. We see people like that, diasporans, Africans. They just wake up one day. Within a year, they say we are going. They want to relocate back to Nigeria or anywhere in Africa. And they don't have any plan. No short term, no long term plan. It's the same thing. Anything you don't plan properly for in life, you end up having regrets. Even when you plan, go, your plan. Because even when you plan, nothing is ever, straightforward with, relocation. It's not an easy route. Anyway, so apparently this family of five or family of seven now, because they got five children, decided to relocate to the UK without doing proper research. Give us a thumbs up, guys, if you are just coming in. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. So I want to ask anybody who's been, because the person that said I should do this show was like they have friends who are in the same situation with this couple. I'm going to play the video to you in a minute. And was like, Auntie B, please, let's talk about this. Let's discuss this. So if you know somebody who's recently relocated to the UK and they are stranded or they are in this same position whereby they are struggling to get, settled. Yeah, I want you to join the show and tell us, or if you've been through the system, I mean, you've come here, post studies, you got your work visas. How did you do it? Maybe it will help to, the whole point of the video is creating, enlightenment to people who are not here yet. That okay, oh, this is what awaits you when you are coming. Please know that it's not just a one-off visa that you pay when you are coming. There are other things here. There's a lot here that you're going to need money for. So it's basically an awareness thing. We're trying to create an awareness for people to beware when they are coming. I know sometimes these things is a waste of time. People will not hear. Whatever you say, you are wasting your time. They will do what they want to do, but it's not easy when you, especially when you are with children. It can be very, very frustrating. So let's listen to this lady share her story about
family friend, but we're not that close when I was in Nigeria. I didn't know this family has been for over 6 good months. They didn't tell me when they were coming. Do you know why they called me? The woman was crying. She was crying. She was in Nigeria doing not too bad, doing good, but averagely. They're not thinkingly rich, but they're average. This woman is the one that has their abroad dream. So she was the one that pushed, I would not say pushed, encouraged the husband for them to travel to the UK.
So let me pause this here so that we'll talk about this. I've seen this quite a lot. Usually, and it's mostly women, right? Some men want to travel. I have friends in Canada who the man is never wanted to live in Nigeria. He was the one that pushed the wife or encouraged the wife, and they relocated. But it's been a while now, and they did it the right way. They use, highly skilled. I don't know if they still do that program now. Back in the day, you could get into Canada with a highly skilled migrant, that program. It takes like 2 years then to process the, I think they've been in Canada for 2 years now, for 10 years now. It takes like 2 years to process the visa, but that is the surest way to enter Canada back then, 10 years ago. You can come with all your children. That's when they started doing the DNA test and, all the wahala of you are not the father. Maury, you are not the father. Started playing up. So this is quite common that if it's a couple, sometimes one person doesn't want to go and one person is the one that is pushing and encouraging. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Nigeria is not the best place. Let's move our family. All right. Is that her name? Her name is Gloria Otiko. Oh, okay. She's become famous because of this video. I'm sure she didn't plan this because people were actually shading her for this video, saying that she was smiling. But I think she just has a smiling face. I don't think the intentions of creating the video was to shade the family. She didn't mention anybody's name. I think she was just she just made this video to warn people about how the system is. But a lot of people were shading her, saying that, she's laughing, she's mocking them. If she can't help them, why is she putting their business out there? But you know how human beings are. They will always find faults. Anyway, so again, I know another story of a woman who desperately wanted to come to the UK. The husband had a very successful business in Nigeria. He was doing quite well, and she relocated to the UK and refused to come back to Nigeria. The husband did everything within his power to get her to understand that this is a lucrative business. I don't want to sell up and leave. And this is Nigeria I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago, or no, even before I came to the UK. That was before I came. I'm telling you now. The woman was like, never. She doesn't want to go back. Meanwhile, she didn't relocate legally. Oh, is visit visa. When she got here, visit visa expired. Now she's not even qualified to apply. You get what I mean? Hmm. So that's what happened. And eventually, because of the pressure that she was putting on the husband, after years of fighting back and forth, oh, the marriage was shaking. They had 3 children, and the woman was like, "Oh, if you don't relocate here, it means you don't want this marriage to work." The man, of course, after a few years, he started, chasing babes in Nigeria, and it became a big palaver. Eventually, to make his family, everybody happy, to keep his family together, he sold up that business and came here. When he came here, a man that is a CEO of a company that hires people, like he had up to 20 employees. You want to tell him to go and do care job? He's not going to sit well with the average Nigerian man. He's a boss. You want to tell him to go and do what? Uber? Or you want to go and tell him to go and do security? Of course he wouldn't want that. So Uncle didn't stay. Oh. When he saw that the kind of job that he could get were not just the kind of jobs that he was comfortable doing, they started having problems. I don't even think they made it. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it was many jobs. So, and that's why, women, especially, we need to caution ourselves sometimes when we're obsessed with this idea of, oh, I want to move, I want to go abroad, I want to go abroad. If your husband is doing well, or they have a business, especially, it is not, I don't think it's a good idea for you to sell everything. You know, you are a girl that everybody had, you have everything, all these people that are working for you, you have a driver, you have security, you have everybody. You sell up and sell your houses all because of the dream to come and live in abroad. I don't know. It's not, if you talk like this, it seems as if, oh, maybe abroad is not good. It depends on where you are coming from. For some people, if you dash them the whole of abroad, they're not going to take. because I not get what then they take and do. I have a a family member like that. She say, I beg mo na hold na abroad. Meanwhile, I be madam for Nigeria. Which they take abroad do? As I dey here, so I get cook. In the morning before I wake up, they don't prepare. I get the children, every single child has a nanny. So those kind of people, they are comfortable to a level that they can afford things that they can't afford here. If you bring somebody like that here, they will be miserable. Okay? They will be very miserable because if they have young children, only they go dey run around, they do school runs, all the things that they used to have help with, they can't afford help here. So you see where the wahala is. So we need to caution ourselves. Some women are obsessed with this traveling. I don't know why. Just because everybody is going, they want to do masters. Even Sabi book, you want to go do masters because all your friends are going to do masters. Now the thing where they reign now, so you want to do masters. But you know what? As much as it's good for you to come and do masters or PhD or whatever you want to do, calculate the cost, because at the end of the day, if you don't plan it very well and you drag that man here to quit his job and quit selling things, he sold things and borrowed money to come here. If it doesn't work, it can affect your marriage. I know marriages are broken because of this thing I'm talking about. No joke. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So that's why we need to be careful. Adewale said, you see this care job, all these UK-based just arrive YouTubers, and also care job. They don't care if it is your passion. Which one be passion? Bills that they pay. Well, passion for waiting. When you have bills to pay, who care about passion? When you get here as a student, initially the money they pay is the first deposit for what's it called? These fees. Hmm? That's the fees that they pay. So you need to work now to pay the balance of the school fees. Because most universities here will allow you to start. They will give you visa once you pay first installment. But you might have a second and third installment to pay, depending on the length of your program. BO is talking about the exchange rates. Yeah, let me look at what BA is saying. BA said, anyway, if you look at the exchange rate, big man for Nigeria with 200 can employ driver, security, and cook. That's what we here, as ordinary people here, they take eat dinner. Yeah, but it's relative. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You fit use $200 for here take eat dinner. But for person for it's about the quality of life and what you are comfortable with. Some people, even if they have minimum wage job, they like and here for other reasons. But there's a especially for men, there's you will rise to a certain position in life where we say to start all over again, even from $200, even if you are making what's it called? What's the minimum wage in the UK? Even if you are making maybe £14 an hour or £15 an hour, I don't know what the minimum wage is. What's minimum wage in the UK? £9 or something, I don't know. They wouldn't. It won't work for them because it's not just about the money alone. Okay, I mean, we can have a whole lot of debate about quality of life here in Nigeria. We are making money here, but some people will still argue that with all the money that you make here, what is the quality of life that you have? That a lot of people is just work. All they do is work. So, but that's not about. We are not talking about whether life is better here in the UK. It depends on individuals and what is important to them, right? Life can be interesting, life can be happy, or life can be good anywhere. People living and people like Junior, Shebi he left US to go to Nigeria and he's running successful businesses. He's happy. He has the option of living in US, but he went to Nigeria. People still relocate to Nigeria. One of my sister-in-law relocated to Nigeria, I think 2 years ago. When she told me she was going to Nigeria, I was like, are you crazy? It was like shortly after the pandemic. She didn't relocate to Lagos. You know what she relocated to? She relocated to, I think it's Akwa Ibom State. She relocated to. But when I saw her, she looked so happy. She was, every day she's out and about. So it's what is important to you as a person. You know, sometimes it's not just money. Sometimes it's other things. It's social connection. Sometimes it's what the society, how you are able to contribute to the society that you live in. Some people don't want to experience racism in their old age. These are some of the issues as well. The racism when we dey expect explain for here na joke. E no be joke now. We all know the issues. So it depends on individuals. Some people will always like living abroad. Some people always like living in Nigeria. It depends. But it's individual choices, and whatever you want to do for yourself is okay. You are right. There's no wrong or right answer. What I'm saying is that a case where you want to come, prepare and make sure you do your homework so that you don't get stranded like this couple. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I've not finished listening to Gloria.
They came to the UK with 5 children. 5 young children. They came to study. The woman is the one studying, the man is the dependent. Why she called me was that she said, Gloria, is it true? Gloria, is it true that she has to pay for post-study work visa?
So, you see, it seems like people that didn't do their homework. How would you not know? How would you not know that if you come to study, you know what Gloria is saying now, that the man is the dependent. He came and she's the one going to school. If they've done their homework, how would you not know that you have to pay for visas after your studies? So it seems like they didn't do their homework. You see what I mean? So, yeah. Doge, what are you saying? Auntie B, in Nigeria, you work so hard to make money and work extra hard to spend the money. We don't work hard here to make money. Is the money handed to us here? There's nowhere we don't work to make money. There's nowhere. Some people will tell you that the enjoyment they do in Nigeria, they can never do it abroad. So there's nowhere you don't work hard. The work here that you work until you want to faint. So there's nowhere you don't work hard. It just depends on the kind of work that you have. Amati said, my 2 cents, most of them don't do their due diligence before embarking on their JAPA, and upon getting to the West, the shock reality hit them. I know people with student visas, yeah. And another thing is that this couple came with 5 children. Okay, first of all, let's break it down. 5 children. The kind of house that you're going to need for 5 children is a minimum of 3-bedroom flats. That's the minimum. Because if you are alone, if you are a single person or you are married and you have 1 child, you can still stay in a studio flat, or you can stay in a shared what's it called? Shared accommodation, right? But with 5 children, from the day one, their plan was already faulty. There's no way you are relocating with 5 young children and you expect that your bills are not going to be skyrocketed. Are we talking about rent, the kind of accommodation you're going to stay? And even in that accommodation, what you're going to be consuming: electricity, gas, water, food. In this day and age in the UK, if the children need childcare, can you pay for childcare? Food, since the pandemic, the cost of food has, since Russia happened to us, food is so expensive now. These are all the things you need to take into consideration. How much you get as you dey come. How long can this money sustain you? There's a lot of money for 5 children with 2 adults. That's 7, a family of 7. Even I want Tony Legon, they not get 7. Before you see a family of 7, they add. People when they get the land, gang. 5 kids is quite a lot. So that's to tell you that maybe if they planned properly, they would have done it in a different way, whereby maybe the wife alone will come with 2 children or 1 child. And then when she gets her permanent resident, then the rest can now come. I think that one makes more sense. If you have many children like that, then one person you have to make sacrifice. Maybe now won't come abroad. Then one person needs to come, and then the other person stays back home and looks after the children. You that want to come will come and do your masters. You get your. It will be easy for you to pay for the postmasters visa if it's just you or 2 people. So the cost of paying for 2 people and the cost of paying for 7 people is a huge difference. Aha. Cynthia, what did you say? I have only one home. You have only one at home and it's overly expensive. 5 kids, exactly. In fact, bringing 5 kids here is wow. Except they are adults. When they come here, let them go and start working. Do you know what it takes to feed these kids? They eat. They eat a lot. If God bless you with boys, they eat quite a lot. So that means it was poor planning from day one. They didn't plan it well. Mm, yeah, they didn't plan it well. You can't travel a whole family of 7 traveling at once. It's like you don't know where you want to put your leg. You want leap. Instead of you to take one leg, may you first put them for ground, take and take that leg, do some kind of measurement. You carry your 2 legs, you just jump. You don't know where you go for enter now. Hmm? You don't know where you go for enter. Tell me to say even with indefinite leave to remain and to be. Hmm? How they won't feed 5 children? Even with a high earning professional, 5 kids is ma. Emi lo n sọ fún. 5 kids. Ha. Eh. So that was poor planning from day one. So if you are coming, I think if you are watching this from Nigeria, you are planning to come. I hope you are getting this. You come alone and make sure you get your permanent resident before your family will join you. It's a sacrifice that you need to make. Shebi, you want to come abroad, so be ready to. But if you carry all your children and come, and you are a huge family like that, Eji Yao.
After her studies, I'm like, of course. She said she didn't know. She was crying bitterly. The thing is, she said they sold their house, of course, sold their car, sold their property for them to be able to come to the UK on a study visa. They came, they borrowed money, like millions of money.
Hey, you see that one? Selling houses, selling cars, quitting jobs, and borrowing money. The worst part is that borrowing money, my people. Borrowing money. If you want to borrow money in a place like Nigeria, where do you go to borrow money? Is it banks? Do you know the rate of interest they're going to give you? Or is it people that are doing a job? I don't know where you're going to borrow money from. Or is it people? Because I don't know. In this day and age, when there was no information, go say information no day. But there's a lot of information at your fingertips now. But a lot of people don't do their homework. They don't do research. They want information to be given to them. You borrow money to come here because you think you are coming abroad. Once I land like this, you go to tell the people, you go to assure them, say, once I land, under 1 week, 2 weeks, I go hammer. Not be pounds. Exactly as BOT talk about the exchange rates. They will tell you, say, today now, they will check and say, okay, how much the exchange rate today now? 920, 90 pounds to naira. Say, okay, how much I borrow? 2 million. I just need 1,500 pounds. I will pay you. You go, they make promises. No, you say, if you first come here, first of all, you know if you just get job immediately. You have to wait to get your national insurance. You have to stabilize yourself, get accommodation. And accommodation for rent for here, not be the one you go pay. You go say month end, landlord go come. You go say, landlord, I beg now. Give me till next week. Go job. Now you if you don't pay, they will throw you out. So people need to be very, very careful and plan very, very well before coming. All this borrowing money to JAPA, I don't know whether it's the wise thing to do, but it depends on your circumstances. But I mean, I think we just need to educate people that there's a process. So if you want to borrow money, well, how are you going to pay it back? How long are you giving to pay the money back? Would they be able to hold on for you for a year, two to pay it back?
Where this money went, the children's visas, the children's immigration health surcharge, their own visa, their immigration health surcharge, and the school fees deposits, and the proof of like the deposit. So that they are owing now, as they're speaking, they've been in the UK for over 6 months. They are owing the balance of the school fees. They are owing people in Nigeria, and they keep calling them every day to pay them the money back. She was calling me because she wanted me to borrow her money. She was crying, like, I mean, bitterly. She was crying. She said she regrets coming to the UK. that nobody told her. I said, no, there's no way somebody did not tell you, just that you will have said, be one of the people that will have said, should be you are there, you are there, let us come, when we come, we'll be all right.
Figure it out. Yeah.
That's it. That's the reality. Now, she said she cannot even read. She'll go to school. She'll be crying in the lecture. She has not even finished paying for her current school fees. Now that she now discovered that she has to pay for post-study work visa, meaning she needs to pay for another immigration hassle charge. She needs to pay for the visa for all her children. The husband is working full-time, but the money the man is making is not enough because they have to pay house rent. She has 5 children. She cannot just take her bag and decide to go to work. Somebody has to be at home to take care of the children. Now she's stranded. She's looking for money. People in Nigeria are calling her because they believe that the moment she gets to the UK, she'll be able to pay the money back.
Now so.
Before she found house, she couldn't find accommodation for almost 3 months, according to her. So that was where some of the money also went, because they were paying for hotels and B&Bs and moving from one place to the other.
Airbnb.
I mean, information, before you go to any country, before you pick your bag, research. If it takes you a whole month, research about that country. She said she swore that if she had known, she would not leave Nigeria.
No baton.
Because now, her visa is going to finish, because her school will finish soon. She has not even got a job. Anywhere she goes, they'll say they don't want students. She has not worked since she came to the UK because they say they don't want students.
It depends on the kind of job she's looking for.
Although the husband is working, but the money is not enough. Because they have 5 children. Do you know how many rooms you need for 5 children? And you said that's 7. And now she has not even finished paying school fees. She has not even finished paying the people that she owe in Nigeria. She has to now look for money now to apply for post-study work visa. By the grace of God, if she passes, apply for post-study work visa, pay immigration hassle charge, and continue the bills like that. These are the reality. This is the reality. This woman was crying. She said for nights, days, she cannot sleep. And it's bringing conflict between she and her husband. Because the husband said, look, I told you I don't want to go abroad. It's true that you will cry and cry all night. You will not sleep just because you want to travel. But now we are here now. You see. That's what the man is telling her.
Yeah.
And they cannot go back now because they've sold everything. They've moved on. Leave space for in case of emergency. Somebody called me.
Right.
I can call her a family friend, but we're not.
Okay, oh, thank you. Glory, Oshe. So it makes sense what she was saying here. I don't know about you guys, but I think she made perfect sense with that video, even though a lot of people were, train shade at her. Yeah. Like I said, I told a friend I could not accommodate her. I will not be able to take her places, and I will not be able to help her the way she wants. She stopped talking to me. Like I said, I didn't care. Oh my God, people don't understand that this is not Ninja. It's not easy. I think somebody contacted my team the other day and said they wanted help. Right. I found out later because the lady sent me a message on Instagram and said that somebody was rude to her, that the person made her feel bad. So I now find out what happened. Apparently, what happened was that she had contacted us saying that she needs help with the same thing. She's got 3 children. They need to apply for visa. I don't think their own is study one. Their own is I don't know what kind of visa. Anyway, she needed to apply for visa, and they've got 3 children with her and her husband. And she wanted me, Obodooyinbo TV, as I sit down here, so Auntie B, make her sit down and do video. But I will hide her identity, and then I will do video about her situation and ask people to donate money. So I think the person, the conversation was not very, very okay for her. She was not happy with the response she got. Of course, I'm not going to do that. I don't know whether people even understand what we do here. I get all kinds of silly requests. The other day, somebody sent me a message. I'm your fan. I'm in South Africa. I'm doing a PhD. I'm stranded. I can't complete my studies. If you can please help me to raise some money. Bill, some of them I used to send. I don't even bother to send them to you anymore. Or we don't turn to what do they call piggy bank. Now piggy bank will be where people will come deep in to take money. Anyway, I think the message is not lost in what Gloria is saying. She made perfect sense. Leave room for in case it if you need to go back. So there's something that they said that she mentioned that me I was not even aware of that you have to pay money for. All right. You know now Nigerians now once they see say you don't contribute money for somebody once, not minding the circumstances of the person, no, or the journey of the person, everybody now want me contribute for them. We are not a fundraising charity. Torí Ọlọ́run, please don't come here for any contribution. We don't do that. I'm not going to start tasking my subscribers every day to be contribute money for you. For what? No. It's occasionally, and we only do it because when people come here to share their story. The most annoying one is the one that say, "Oh, please keep me private." You tell the story. Nigerians, oh, some of you are so, oh my goodness, it gets on my nerves. You want to use me. I should keep you private and tell your story and collect money. But I won't keep you private if I'm giving the money to you, right? Anyway, let me not just. It's frustrating, honestly, being in this public place because you see all sorts of rada. People be asking all sorts of nonsense. Keep me private. You want money, you want to be private. Okay, go to Barclays Bank. They will keep you private there. So, what Gloria is basically saying is that please do your work well, do your research well. So, for a student, you can't even work. In the UK, the laws are funny. It's only 20 hours they allow students to work. And I hear that now, because some of them, Nigeria now, they will still try to, find a way so that the system no go catch them. So if they say work 20 hours, some students go still dey work more than 20 hours, some go work 40 hours, some no go even go school. But now HMRC is clamping down on organizations seriously. So they know they won't risk anything because if they catch you say you employ students who supposed to they go school, you supposed to do 20 hours, you can't they do 40 hours a week. They go fine, no. Tell me. Oh my God, tell me, say, Auntie B, keep me private. My enemies are after me. Oh, read me by you. Tell me. See me in trouble. I want group to keep me private. Keep me private. Auntie B, keep me private. But you want people to contribute money for you. I'm a ring con. Anyway, so have you been in this position? Have you been in the UK that you relocated here, you didn't know what's happening, or you did it successfully? I just want people to advise other people. That's all we are doing tonight. No long thing. What would you, if you've been through the process and you've done it successfully, or people who are going through it? Some people say they know people who are here on student visa. How did they manage to how did they manage to do their students visa and now move from student visa to work visa successfully? What's the process? Me, I don't know the process. So, and what should people be aware of? People who are back home in Nigeria, what should they be aware of? Yes, so Uzo, I hear you, my darling. What should people be aware of? Bumi, let me come to you first, then I'll take Bio very quickly.
Auntie B,
Because are going to be very short tonight,
oh,
3 minutes each. Yes, go
okay.
on, my
Auntie B,
darling.
Obodoyibo fam, how are you? How is everyone doing?
I'm
I just
good.
want to say
Welcome.
thank you. I just want to say for Canada, yeah, I'm not in the UK, unfortunately, but for Canada, just in general, this first point, when you're immigrating, the things the cultural difference, you have to put it in prospect. That things that people did for you, or the culture that we had in Nigeria, is not going to follow you necessarily. No one owes you that favor or that obligation to do it in the abroad. And if
Right.
anybody is doing it, you should take it as a big favor and try your best to make sure that you are in their good graces. And I'm not saying that you should, be hugging them beneath that, but make sure that the little things, like if you are staying with somebody, you want to give them a timeline, you want to help us. And I know it's not easy, but even if it's with cleaning after yourself, all those type of things, because people think that because they are your friend and maybe they can stay here, everything works on, there's a schedule for everything, there's bills to be paid. So if you're not contributing to that, if you're not adding value, add value in some other way. Secondly, when you're moving, you want to try to get into groups. So in Canada, there's a lot of groups. There's a Clubhouse, or that Twitter. You want to get into groups and have a knowledge. Even my sister that my own blood sister was still asking that if she comes to Canada, will she be able to get an office job? I said, my dear, what did you study? You study history. How are you going to get an office job with history? And she knows that I'm here. I've talked all types of English, broken Igbo, Yoruba, Kofegboro. I said, you can't come here and be doing big boy, big girl. If you want to do that, keep it in Nigeria. You have to humble thyself and work and make sure you know,
Start from scratch.
start from scratch. That's the problem. People that don't want to start from scratch and then they see this picture, they see you driving. No, I also started from scratch. If you want to start from scratch, no problem. Carry your money and come. But you have these are the things you have to know. And here nobody is looking at you. As long as even if you are cleaning snow, because you're packing snow, as long as you are paying your bills, you are respected. Nobody cares. So all that ego, drop it at Muitala Mohammed. And if you are coming here as a student, you also have to know that there's procedures to everything. It's step by step. It's not that you come here, you want to jump. You want to come and be doing now in Canada, you can do 40 hours as a student, but it has a downside. Now, if you don't finish your school, they will kick you out. They will send you back.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
people have to be able to weigh the pros and be realistic. Be realistic to every naira, every dollar. If they say that school is 7,500, budget 9,000, because you don't know what will happen. People are like, for example, myself, I failed 2 courses. So I have to pay for those two. I have to go back to school, and I pay for those courses myself. It took me. It's not easy. So all this is you have to, because nobody owes you anything. This is no man's land. You don't know anybody. Your family is not here, especially if you don't have family here. That's what I'm going to say. We have to be realistic. And when people are talking, and when people are saying, do you not be like, oh, because you are there? No, it's out of the abundance of our heart and what we have seen, the shege we have seen, that we are telling you. That's all.
Thank you very much. Short and sweet. I love that. Okay. All right. I'm coming to Brother Bio. Good evening. So here in the UK, if you don't pay your fees, the school will not allow you to continue. If you pay for one semester and the next semester you are not able to pay, they will not allow you to take lectures. You have to. So welcome, Bio.
Yeah, Auntie B, I greet you specially. So I'm contributing to this not because I'm actively involved in this channel, because I'm a clear example of this topic. So
Right.
yes, because I migrated to the first out of Nigeria with a student visa. So I have real classical experience with this. So here's the thing first and foremost. Just for anybody to understand this topic, especially those listening to us from Nigeria. In anything, there's always an exception, right? So let's say, for instance, even as you are trying to help people, educate them with this topic now, right? Somebody can still point maybe one friend, for instance, that did the same thing, and maybe today they are living good in the UK. I'm just saying, example, right? But our people don't know that in everything, even though there's exception, doesn't mean you look at the majority of it. What is the probability? Do you understand? So what am I trying to say? When you now advise them, don't do this, they will always find one person to show you as example. Say, oh, do you not remember Kool-Aid that left with the wife? Today is this, is that in the UK. Do you understand my point? But they will forget that for every Kool-Aid, there are 20 or millions of Benga. So that is why it becomes more difficult for us when we try to give these people this opinion, when they will now say, oh, why did you do this? Why did you not do that? Okay, with that being said, people want to move. They want to JAPA. Nobody is owing you. Nobody is telling you not to JAPA. In fact, people who love you are the people that will always tell you the risk involved, because they don't want to set you up for failure. The people that are just encouraging you to do it, some people are desperately wicked. They will encourage you to do something, but they already know you're going to fall in a pit. So they are waiting for you to fall into that pit. Then they begin to laugh at you and be forming pits and saying, hey, yeah, you understand? So my people back home that I'm talking with now, not people who do Igbo, because we all here have our own experience. Here is the thing. Most countries, do your research. When you are traveling, know what is the competitiveness of a student transiting into a PRO. That is the first thing you are going to look. And two, every student visa has a timeline. So therefore, it must come to an end.
Right.
Do you understand? The only way you cannot come to an end is when somebody becomes a permanent resident. Even a permanent resident, some are conditional, some are permanent resident, some are revocable, right? Until the person becomes a citizen of that country, right? So if you know these facts, you will save yourself some strength. That the suffer that you are supposed to suffer when you travel is better to suffer it back home first by coming through a channel that will allow you to be able to achieve your long-term goals.
Or you'll be better prepared when you are
Or better
coming.
prepared. Thank you. So that is 2. Then 3, for those who are coming from Nigeria, I know I wrote that statement very wrongly, but you really did not understand. My point there was that I was trying to say, when you're coming from Nigeria, no matter how big man you claim to be, just know that once you have taken that decision to leave Nigeria, you are not actually a big man. Because if you are actually a big man where you are, you won't want to move. It's the truth.
Because when you change your naira to pounds, even or dollars,
yes,
the money devalues.
Yes, that was the point I was trying to make.
Okay, that's what you were trying to say. Okay.
Yes, so that's what I was trying to say. Reduce by the time you come here.
Money goes very quick here.
Quick.
It goes very quick.
So I have seen people who come even to this United States. When they come in, they say, I'm a big man here, big man there, big man there. I just called one recently. I said, come, sit down here. He's a personal friend. I'm not joking. I said, sit down here, my brother. I said, that big man will be for Nigeria. Even police will follow the waka. Let's calculate the money. This is my pay slip. It was looking like this. I said, can you spend this in a month in Nigeria? Even that big man plus police will follow you. He was looking at me. Now, what am I trying to say? I'm not saying that I have more than him. I'm trying to make him understand that your equivalent in Nigeria, when you travel, the moment you pass that airport, the first thing, just throw away talk. When you gather where people are abroad, don't ever say, in Nigeria, I get cocoa, I get this one. No, just keep quiet. Keep quiet, because the actual big men that really travel to this abroad, they buy house from Nigeria before they come here. They know they can't find who they won't stay with. It's the truth. So that your big man, just keep it. That is very important. So I don't like it when anybody come here with student or whatever and say you're a big man. You cannot. And when you say something back home and you come here, the mistake you will start making is because you will think you have something in your pocket. You won't know that what you have is chicken change. And then you want to do your own things. Like if you had come without money, there were some certain things you would have been doing. But now, because you thought you have chicken change, before you know it, the money will evaporate.
So
then final. Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your final point. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So finally, too, in terms of country competitiveness, for instance, all countries are the same, but you need to know what your transition chances would be. For instance, when I went to study in Dublin, Ireland, me, Bill, talking to you, Auntie B, today, I went to one of the top universities in Dublin, Ireland, no be mouth. After I finished, completed that engineering, computer engineering, do you believe that I had interview with top companies at the time in Dublin to get work permit? But see what happened. At the time, Dublin just joined EU. So there was a law that states that even somebody from Germany that applied for that same position with me, that had never been to Ireland, they can employ him immediately and he start working tomorrow. Me that studied in that country, I'm in category 4 because it says that where a vacancy is available, that the company must prove that they are no Irish citizen, no EU citizen, no EEA.
So that's pushed you to the back.
I'm category 4. That's what I just mentioned. Category 1, Irish citizen. Category 2, EU citizen. Category 3, EEA. That was where I went to look. Which one be EEA again? The ones that are European, but they are not in EU. Do you understand? So category 3 before category 4. Now, there are countries that do not really have too many categories like that, to be honest. Yeah. For instance, Canada and the US, they don't have this, and UK is not part of it. I think UK left EU, right? You know, whatever. So those countries that don't have that attachment too much, you need to look at the competitiveness. See, today, when we are applying for job, even in this country that I'm already a citizen, we still have to fill one place they will write. Do you have the right to work in this country? We'll click
Of
yes.
course. Of
The
course.
next page is, will you need continuous work permit in the future? Such that if you are having maybe a residence that is not correct yet, this and this. So we need to feel column B. Companies don't want to go through that stress with you. These are the facts you must look at. You must know this
So
fact.
let
Okay,
me ask
go
you,
ahead.
Bill, if somebody is doing well, when I say well, I mean some people, a few people in Nigeria are still doing well financially in terms of businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like everybody in Nigeria is suffering. Some
Right.
people are still running their businesses successfully. It's a challenge, but
Mm-hmm.
they are doing. And if you want that, because we're talking of a couple now, you want that person, they're a couple, you want that person wants to come here because the wife is pushing that they
Mm-hmm.
should come and relocate abroad. If you
Mm-hmm.
are a man in that kind of marriage, would you come here, leave your company where you are an employer of labor to come here to do, a mania job?
Okay, here's the thing. If we go into that, answer is this. Just like you've already answered it in your statement, life is all about choices. Do you understand? There are some
Mm,
people that their choice, their idea of understanding is just living a good life at that moment, right? We are not saying Nigeria is not going to be better, but the truth of the matter is that I've seen people who are they were truly okay in Nigeria, but I don't consider them rich, but I consider them okay, right? They were
mm,
truly okay in Nigeria, but they looked at the future of their children. Like, for
mm,
instance, a friend of mine who is doing very well for himself, but I don't consider him rich again, like I said, he moved to the US and he came and started working in FedEx. And this is somebody I know have up to 8 properties in Nigeria. I'm not kidding you, Auntie B. Now, when I asked him one time, why did you take all this cruise? He said, listen, my brother. He said, if he 5 children in Nigeria, he don't get green card, get Bali, 5 for them to come here at old age. He don't want to be looking for who to beg when we give picking work for that country. He want to change his generation background. So here is my answer to that. People will
mm.
definitely move for some reasons. The
Yeah.
point is that just know that you can never start from where you are coming from.
That's where the
Do you
problem
understand?
is, because it's not
Yes,
everybody that
you
wants to
cannot
start.
start.
It's not everybody that wants to start. Some I've heard
Then you
stories.
are not ready now. Then
Hold
you are
on.
not ready.
I don't hear stories, I don't hear stories of men when they relocate to their wife. Now the women can't do what's it called? This same master's program. And the man said, I can't do that job. So they came together. He's supposed to go and take a job and help her because she's going to
Mm-hmm.
school, they have children, and she
Yes,
cannot do many hours. She can only do maybe 20 hours a week. But the man
yes,
said, Uncle said, no, not be that kind of job. He owe me. I'll go to do that
yes,
kind of job. I don't fit do that
yes,
job. Instead, they would
yes,
rather sit down for house.
yes, yes, absolutely. So, Auntie B, adding your voice to these trading issues, because again, when we want to do show here, whether it is by algorithm, I don't know. Yesterday, it popped up on here on my this thing. I'm not looking for immigration, so I don't know why immigration will pump up. Do you know that a lady gave her last name start with King? I don't know her before. She gave an incident in the UK as she came with. I think they're talking about this nursing or healthcare something of
Mm,
how they should not sign contracts. They should lead was advising people. So what is my point here? These people in Nigeria, they've seen millions of video.
mhm.
They've seen people advise them.
The
The more
advice is
you,
too much. It's
yeah,
confusing.
thank you.
Some
So,
of the advice themselves, they too self, they need advice. I'm telling you.
so, and
Anybody where I mean, some of them are just silly. I
the
see
lady
one
advising
yesterday.
was 4 months in the UK. Safe. I was not
Hey,
looking at this
that
lady.
one I don't
I
tell.
said,
We get one whenever they small party, go they do video. Once they land back down like this, they don't start to. If you coming to the UK, if you want to come to the UK, this is what we what you yourself know about UK. You just the land. You never even pay your school fees. You are making videos. I be enter house, may let person see road. Now then self they cause confusion. I will advise anybody that is coming. Bio, thank you so much, my brother. Let's move on because of time. Anybody that is coming, I beg, go do your own research. It's not YouTube that you do your research. Yes, you can get some information from YouTube, but you need to go to the source. For instance, if you're applying to go to university, go to that university website. Find out, go to Home Office, gov.com. Gov, UK, what's that UK government site again? Is it Gov? Just put Gov, Gov. Now the government website be that. UK website here is Gov, Gov, Gov. Anything when you need for this word, they for Gov. That is the government UK. Immigration, no, visas, oh, whatever it did there. Just go to direct gov. Direct dot. Is it direct gov? Cynthia, are you sure it's direct gov? It's gov. Gov. I think it's gov. Yeah, just gov. It's not direct gov. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, sharp push gov. All right, Adewale, you are next. You're welcome, my dear. Where's Brother
Thank,
Patrick?
thank you for having me, Anthony.
Welcome. What do you have to say?
I think I need to start from the word relocate because there are a lot of words we use in Nigeria in the English language that it's actually we use it wrongly. You'd see someone going to the UK to do a 6 months course, and the person will advertise on the internet that they're relocating to the UK. That's wrong because you're not relocating, you're actually going to study. They're two
Mm-hmm.
different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it means to relocate. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one problem, and I think too, with the JAPA culture now, everyone is trying to leave Nigeria, and whenever there's this vulnerable part of anyone's life, I always call them vultures that pop out to try to deceive and read people off and scam people, and
What is
they're
this one
these
again, though? Sorry, Adewale. Precious says some people will never be eligible for PR in Canada because of diseases like Hep B, diabetes, HIV. Is this incorrect? Is this your information correct?
I
So because
don't
somebody is sick, they won't give them. Is this correct?
I
I don't
don't
want to
think
put
so.
any information that is not correct there. So because
I'm
you
not
have,
sure. I'm not sure, but I know that you have to do some like healthcare checks before moving to certain countries.
so if you have all these diseases in Canada, they will not give you PR.
It's not. I don't think it's not that they wouldn't give you. There are reasons for asking for those things, so I'm not sure. So I can't really say about that. I don't know. I don't know more.
Any information you want to put, make sure it's correct, please. Let's not join the
I
bandwagon
don't
of
know.
people putting
I don't know
incorrect
much about
information.
that.
Joe. Don't, this is what we're accusing people that are making if you come to the UK, when you come to the UK, in the year of the UK. This is what we accuse them of. So don't do that, please. Don't put incorrect information. It's very misleading. If you don't know, it's okay to keep quiet. Don't put information that is not correct. That's why I can never give anybody information about immigration because what immigration was in 2006 when I came here is not the same thing that it was in what's it called 2006 and 2000. Is it 2006? I don't forget. If I beg, I will continue.
Yeah,
Mm.
so these vultures they come out. Like for example, now when Tinubu was announced as the president, and everyone started talking about jackpot, and then you started seeing adverts about these agents telling you, oh, if you move to the UK within if they help you move to the UK within 2 years, you're gonna be a citizen, and all those like misinformation going on.
And you know these universities go to Nigeria to go and sell the
Of course,
school.
they do too. So the
They have like they
universities,
practically have these fairs in
agents,
Lagos and Abuja, other cities in Nigeria, trying to get students. They just want to
students,
collect your money.
and they
They don't
lie
even
to
have plans
you.
to help you post study on how to
They
get a
don't.
job.
They
So
don't.
many people finish graduating, they'll do the masters or whatever program
They
because
don't
those
get a
universities
job.
have collected all your money. Now you don't have money to renew your you don't even have a
Exactly.
sponsorship. You don't.
I have many stories of people who went to the UK. So these agents will lie to you, lie to them, tell them information that are not true. And you know, like Nigerians, we don't like to read. We are not a culture of we don't have a culture of reading. A lot of people when they go on the internet, they don't go on the internet to search for information. They're on Instagram and Twitter the whole day. They'd rather spend that much time on Instagram or watching YouTube videos of someone who has just been to the UK for a month telling you, oh, so and so, you're gonna do this care job. Like that care job thing, every time I go on YouTube, I'm going to find one Nigerian lady. It's always a lady who has just been in the UK for like 3 months. She's gonna start telling people, oh, come to the UK to do this care job, blah blah blah. They just give you so many misinformation, like things that are not true, or they'll give you half truths. They won't tell you the entire thing, or they'll tell you, oh, when you come to the UK to study, within 1 year you're going to get a job,
Some
and
people
that's
have
not
even gotten admission and they reject visas,
they
even though they
reject
paid
it,
school fees. You know,
and that's
some students in Nigeria have paid fees to the schools and they did not get visa to come.
exactly that
And it
happens.
becomes a problem. How do you get your money back from the universities?
And that happens a lot with like Nigerian students who are going to study in Canada. Like I had a friend who applied to Canada about twice. He got the admission, and in Canada, in I think Canadian immigration system, you have to pay the tuition fees to the school first before you can apply for the visa. So he had paid and everything. Then when he started applying for the visa, they rejected him, not on the basis that he didn't have enough money, but they said that they were not sure if he was going to leave the country after his studies. That's
Hmm.
what they told him. It happened to him twice. So there was also another friend of mine who was telling me about how he wanted to go to Canada and everything to study. And in my mind, I was like, do I tell this guy the truth? Because I know his parents are rich, so he can afford to go to the UK, which is easier for him. I mean, it's not as difficult as Canada. But I was like, if I tell this guy this thing now, he would think I'm what we call bad belly in Nigeria, and I don't
You
want to
don't
help
want
him.
him to. You
So
don't want him to jackpot.
I kept quiet. I kept quiet, and the same thing happened to him as well. The same
Hmm.
exact thing happened to him. And the problem is, what's common about these two guys is they didn't do these things themselves. They used agents. Agents who have never entered the plane, let alone gone to Canada. They've never even entered the
Those
plane.
agents are part of the universities pay them to
They
get
paid
Nigerian
them.
students to because all they care about, what you in Nigeria need to understand is that these universities are looking for money.
They're
And
looking for
Nigerians
money
pump a lot of money to this university, not only UK, all universities across the
around the
US,
world, around the
America,
world,
Canada, they are
around the
looking for
world,
money.
around the world, because the international students pay like in most places 5 times what the the
The
the
home
uh
students pay. Yeah.
yeah the citizens pay.
Yeah.
And the international students are not they're not eligible for loans, so they know that any
And university is not like in Nigeria where government own university. They are
no,
businesses
they are
basically.
businesses, they are
They are
businesses
privately owned, so they have
privately
to make
owned.
money.
They have to make money. That's why they get a lot of their money, because their citizens are either the education is either subsidized, or those students are coming with loans. And when you see that's why I have a problem with that word relocating. If you're going to another country to study, you're going there to study. You're not relocating.
Hold
Your
on a minute,
chances of
though.
going from being a student to being a permanent resident or being a worker in that country is it's not a guarantee. Essentially,
Live
it's not
with
a
Rose
guarantee.
said that since B, with all these students are cashing it out on YouTube and they buy houses, so they encourage others to open channel.
Of course,
Students are buying houses, really.
I don't
Students are buying houses.
I
I
don't
would love
even
to see. Oh,
I don't even know if it's true, because social
eh.
media is like it's a
Where did
dream
they get the
world.
money? Where did they
It's
get the money to buy the house?
it's a
From 20
dream
hours
world.
of work?
It's a dream. I have stories like
Or it's just washy-washy? You people should believe.
they're
Be
just like
careful on what you believe on social media. Oh.
my sister told me of a friend of hers who just moved to the UK to study, and
Eh.
she came with a dependent, and what she actually did was that she lied that she was married to the guy. So the plan was that the guy was going to come to the UK, because the dependents are allowed to work for as much as they can. So the guy was going to
Yes,
come to the UK, work as much as he can, so he can help her pay uh, her
the
tuition fee.
fees. Yes.
And when the guy came,
The jackpot.
he's so he's not he didn't jack, he's so lazy. He's not even working as much as she wants to. And the thing is, the agent actually told her that the guy will be able to work enough to pay the tuition fees,
So
and
it's
that's
a
what
lazy. She had to go and find a lazy burger to come
Of
here who
course,
cannot
of
work.
course. I mean, there's
Ah,
there's a, there's a stat in the UK that says now, like out of the amount of Nigerians coming to the UK through the education route, only 10% of them are actually students. That the
hmm.
remaining ones
Somebody said the Ying with Melanie says it's propaganda. He said, I don't believe that is propaganda. That's so funny, the Ying. I beg, don't make me laugh. It won't need propaganda. Oh my God. Thank you, Adewale, for that contribution. You guys in Nigeria, do your homework. Oh, I know Nigeria is hard. Everybody wants to take off. I understand it. Trust me. I do understand it's not easy. I don't know how students are buying houses, though. Any student that has bought house from working as a student, I would love to see. How did you do it, please? Maybe we that have been living here for so long, maybe we are lazy. We can learn from those people like that, though. How did you do it, please? Eh? What kind of where? How? How much did you save? I don't know. I don't know. Did they bring money from Nigeria or is from doing 20 hours? They managed to live on working on 20 hours. and they pay all their bills, pay their school fees, and they bought a house. Eh, you guys be careful what you believe on social media. People will literally lie to your face when they go and rent Airbnb and tell you they bought a house. Be careful. Mm-hmm. Right. TA. Hi. Unmute yourself.
Auntie B, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you a student?
No, I'm not a student, but I was a student in the UK about 10 years ago. So
Right.
this topic is very close to my heart. And before I just,
Mm-hmm.
continue speaking to you, I'm from Ontario, Canada. And I've been listening to your show for like 2 years now. It's literally my Bible. And, even though I don't speak a lot on this your show, but a lot of the life issues that you discuss here really matters to me. Okay. So now onto the question of, should you come to the UK to study? My own case was very different. My sister was in the UK. I mean, she finished studying and she got a job immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that is how, things were. I didn't ask questions. I thought my own was just going to be like as easy as my sister's one. And my sister did not tell me. So it was during Christmas. She was not telling me how she got a job, how, her husband's friend referred her. And she was, it was a miracle for her. I thought, then for a very long time, I actually resented her because, I thought that she didn't tell me how difficult it was. And eventually I finished my master's, just like, every other Nigerian international student in the UK. I mean, I was passed by with opportunities because I didn't have the right and to work in the UK. And eventually I had to go to Canary Wharf, like, to start giving people my resume. Like I printed my resume out and it was like I was on the street, like giving people pamphlets. So these
You
things,
stood you stood on the street in Canary Wharf to hand out your CV.
it was that bad, yes.
Are you joking? Wow, that
I
was
went there two
serious.
times.
Did
It
they
was
stop to
serious because
collect it from you? Did they even collect it from you?
some of them stopped. They
Mm-hmm.
collected it from me and they said, "Oh, I would like to employ you, but do you have like the right to work in the UK?" I said no. And a lot of times, like I think I even got someone that called me back and they wanted me to cover for I'm in accounting and finance field. They wanted me to cover for someone's maternity, and when I told them that I needed a sponsorship because that was like I finished my program in September and my visa was supposed to be out by the end of was supposed to finish by the end of February. So they said, you know what, we just needed someone that had like the right and the right to work in the UK. So I didn't get, I mean, from that effort, I didn't get any much attention, even the fact that I had to stay on the street and start distributing my CV out. So some of these things, I'm just saying that my own case, you're saying that, some people also get this information on YouTube or, they just see social media. My own was my sister. I thought that, I would just be as successful as my sister. I did not ask questions. I was quite naive when I was much younger. So the lesson here is that I would say that people should do their research. They should also do their risk analysis. That right now I hear that the case is a little bit different. That people have like 2 years post-study visa. They should also try to see like what happens
But
if
within that 2 years, I think you need to have somebody to sponsor you. Or
exactly
is that not the case?
that's the case. But
Someone
a
to
lot
give
of
you a
people are
job,
saying
isn't
that
it? Is that not how it works? I don't know. I wish somebody can call in who is going through this process that can share. Because I hear people saying that they need somebody to sponsor them or something. Or if you get a 2 years visa, okay, let's say after the studies now, not 10 years ago, then you get the 2 years post studies visa. What if you don't get a job? How are you going to survive? That's another thing
right,
you need to consider because now you finish your school, you want to get a job that is commensurate with your academics, achievements. You don't want to go back to the same kind of job that you were doing as a student, right? So that's another
right.
challenge. There's a lot of things to consider. It's
No,
not like people
you're
are not
right,
explaining
Auntie.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100% right. Because I do have a friend that, went with this 2 years thing and is also
Mm.
struggling because at the end of the day, like the UK people, they'll tell you that, oh, 2 years is a long time for you to, get a job. But the thing is, even if you get a job, are those people willing to sponsor you like after that your like post-study visa is over? Most times, like, they'll just keep giving you those type of excuses that, you know, um, you cannot get a work permit or things like that. So I have a friend that is currently going through that. I see a comment on the screen.
They're saying that okay, after your studies, you get the post studies
Exactly.
visa, so you don't need
Yes,
sponsorship. It's after that one that you now need sponsorship.
correct.
I
Correct.
see.
You,
I
that's
understand
right.
it now. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I also wanted to say, and to be that people should do their own research. I wanted to come to Canada before, and my mom was like, "Oh, you don't have anyone in Canada? Like Canada is too far and it's too cold." And I was like, "Okay, since my sister was in the UK, I would just go." So on my own part, I take accountability as well. Like at the time, 10 years ago, I didn't take time to do my research. I was just thinking that since my sister was like, she was doing well there, if I get there as well, I would do well. So I just really want to encourage everyone to like, because it's actually a lot of money that we spend on masters in the UK. So I
Yeah.
want to encourage a lot of people to take time to do their research, because that, I mean, after my masters in UK, I kind of felt, some regrets. I was like, you know what, maybe if I'd used that money for business or something, because
Exactly.
eventually I had to come back to Nigeria, and
So
thankfully I
before
got
you
a
now
good job
went.
in Nigeria. Exactly. I got a very good job in Nigeria. So, but I'm still very glad all in all. But I would have said that if I was able to do my research more that time, I would have even
Hmm.
gotten more from the program and everything. Thank you, Auntie.
Right. Thanks, my darling. Thanks for sharing your experience with us. Wow. It's not an easy route, oh. It's a lot of ups and downs. So even for single people, you can imagine what they are going through. Talk of married people, seven, a family of seven. Wow. Amati, you say Samolu has turned to immigration consultant. I hope he's charging people or he's doing it free of charge. I can't hear you, Amati. You're muted. Yeah, you unmute yourself now, but I still can't hear you. Can you guys hear her? I can't hear you. Hmm? It's a lot of what, I mean, I don't think what the UK is doing regarding that visa thing is right. How do you collect so much money from people? Some people pay as much as £15,000 to come and do this so-called postgraduate, and then you don't even allow them to stay to work for 5 years. They should make that post-study visa 5 years. It's because people keep coming. If Nigerians stop coming, and you will see they will change it. Amati, we can't hear you. Take your headphones off and talk directly to the phone or your device so that we can hear you.
I think
Yeah,
you can hear now.
yeah, that's better. We can hear you now.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should make that post study visa 5 years. Why 2 years? Huh? After paying all that money, they expect you to just go back to where you come from without working and getting some of that money back.
Abby.
Hmm.
So in my experience, I mean, I'm not on student visa or whatnot, but a lot of Sam's friends has, taken those visas recently, and in the last 1 or 2 years, a lot of them has actually come on that visa, student visa route. And to my understanding, so how it works, they give you the student visa, right, for your masters for 1 year. And then after 1 year, if you get a job, your employer will give you sponsorship. If you can't find an employer that will give you the sponsorship, then that means you have to go and apply for the post-study work, which gives you another 2 years. So if that
Mhm.
2 years runs out and you still haven't gotten a sponsorship, then you have to keep. I think you can only renew it twice, from my understanding. And
And
that
it,
thing
and you're gonna need money to be renewing it.
to renew it exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
I know one of Sam's friend who came in January 2020. He has 4 children in Nigeria, so he didn't come with all of them at the same when he came. So he came first, and then when he came, about 7 or 8 months after, his wife came with the youngest child, who she was about a year plus at the time. So it was just last year, towards the end of last year, was when the remaining 3 kids came to join them. So
So they
why
staggered it to make it
Yes,
easier for
to
them.
make it easier, because I mean those the older kids, they were quite older, and they were in boarding school. So they were in boarding school for about a period of about 9 to 8 months. So when the husband came, he settled, then brought the wife with the youngest kid, because the baby was about, like I said, 18 months at the time. Then the remaining 3 kids came to join them last year. So all 4 of them now are here now, and I mean they're juggling it. The husband has finished his masters, luckily, and that sponsorship visa too, a lot of those care agencies now have not turned into business. They're making money off it. They will charge you money to say, okay, we'll give you the visa, but they are charging them ridiculous amount of money, and to be
I hear 7, 10,000. That's what I heard.
10,000 exactly.
Hmm.
And some even are even some are even duping them, scamming them. They will collect the money and you don't get the visa.
I know somebody that came here with that visa now. She was
Yeah,
sponsored from South Africa to come here,
yeah.
but she didn't pay. She just applied online. But she told me last week that the agency is not giving her job. So she can stay in a week. She will not even get up to 5 hours job. And
5
she's
hours
got
job.
bills to pay. She's got rent to pay.
Do
So
you know
that's
this?
another issue.
Do you know they have another one too called the care visa? So if you don't want to come through the student route, you can come through the care visa. So that one, I know two people in Nigeria who has paid about 7 million naira.
Hey, where are they getting all this money from, Biko?
And TV, I wonder.
7 million naira
I'm
just to
thinking
do JAPA.
7 million naira just to come to UK and start doing
Hey,
what? Care job.
Chineke, oh.
Although there are some good stories I've heard, though. One of my friend who too came on the student visa, she finished her job. So she came with her husband, and then at the time she was pregnant. So she came shortly before the baby was due. So she came, she did her course. Luckily, she got a job with an American bank, and they gave her the sponsorship. They even pay for the sponsorship for her, and she's
They say
getting
you can't. Yeah, this Chama said you can't renew the post-study visa. It's only once you can
it's
get
only
it.
once. So I know
Mm,
it's once or twice. So, but if
mm.
you're without the sponsorship, you have to go back to the sponsor to the post.
7 whooping million naira. I'm still processing that
TV
thing that you
seven
told me
and
now.
TV 7 million naira.
If you have
So,
7 million in Nigeria, why do you want to come to the UK to
and
do
Sam is
school?
telling this person, why do you want? He works with the federal government, though. So why do you want to come? He too has 3 children with his wife. They're now they're relocating. Why do you guys? Why do you want to come? But TV, this guy is insisting that he wants to leave Niger.
He's
He's
one of those people that
insisting
want to come by all means.
by all means,
Mm.
by all means.
But is he prepared for the money they will use to renew the visa?
And
Because
TV,
even the care visa, I
yeah.
think it's only three months they give them. They need to renew it though. So
No,
you're
it's
gonna need
five.
money.
It's either 3 years or 5 years that they give them. Because I know another friend of mine too who came with the care visa. She got 5 years.
This one I'm talking about, that the
Hmm.
care agency, the one that the care agency will sponsor you.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's up to three. It's up to a year. Oh.
No, it's 5 years. One I know someone, but I went to secondary school together. She got 5 years.
Maybe it depends then, because the person
Maybe it
I'm talking
depends.
about
Yeah,
now is not up to.
yeah. She got 5 years. But this thing, yeah, Nigerians, instead of them to go and do their research, a lot of Nigerians just have that smartphone on their hands. They're not making use of it. Nigerians prefer secondary information.
Hmm.
Secondary information. Instead of them to go online, do the research, read themselves, they rather give it to someone else to go and
No,
do
they
the
will come and
research.
ask you.
They
It's you
come
they
and
want to
ask
come and
you
ask. Like,
exactly
please,
how do I go
how
about
do
it.
I do it?
You
How
have
do I
this
do
phone
it?
on your hand. What are you
If you
making?
tell them to go and do the research, they'll be angry with
They'll
you
be
that you don't
angry.
want to help me. You
They'll
don't
be
want to help
angry.
me.
They will.
Hmm.
But it is well.
Tell that your friend that 7 million is a lot of money. Why does he want to quit his job and use 7 million naira
He
just to
has
japa?
told him he too wants to come. He wants to come.
Is it because he's seeing people here, so he thinks has he ever visited before?
He's tried because he too used to work in a bank with them Sam and whatever. But then he applied like few times. They rejected him. So like 3 times. So after that, he didn't bother to reapply again, and then move on. So and then now all of a sudden he too wants to relocate. He wants to japa. And so Sam is always discouraging them that
So
don't
he's
even if
not visited before.
he's not
Shouldn't he
visited
visit?
before.
Because I'm just thinking, how many children does he have?
He has 3
Plus his wife.
plus his wife, so there are 5
That's
of them.
five.
5, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So this
Seven
woman that
million.
has this woman that has 7, 5 children, herself and her husband, where are they gonna get 17,000 pounds from?
If you change 7 million to pounds, how much does that come up to?
I don't
Maybe
know. I mean,
is he up to maybe 10,000 pounds
I
or
have,
thereabouts? Maybe about 10,000 pounds. I don't know.
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know
hmm.
either. I don't know.
Because if you are looking at the money they are going to pay, is that the cash they are going to bring, or is that part of the visa fees, the tickets, and all that?
It's just the visa fee. Just
Hmm.
the visa fee.
Okay, 7 million is about 15,000 pounds,
Can
right?
you imagine?
Okay,
Is that fifteen
15.
thousand pounds?
Somebody says about 15,000 pounds. Olufumi said 15,000.
At what rate?
I don't know. I don't know how. Or somebody should help me calculate it. I want to know how much. I'm very interested in
Okay,
that
I will
story.
just, I will just, for argument's sake, by nine. Oh no, I won't say 900. I'm converting pound to
No,
naira.
it's more than
So naira
900.
to naira to pound.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know.
It's more than 900. Let me check. I
Yeah,
have these people that are always sending me. That thing used to annoy me every single day. They send me. It's 907. They said it's today. 907 today.
907. Okay,
Mm.
907. 7 million divided by 907. So that's just over £7,000.
So why is the person saying 15,000? Hmm?
So my calculation here is giving me 7.7, 7,700,
So it's
7,700.
7,000.
Yeah.
Why are you saying 15,000? That's do twice. You see, these are all the fake news that we're talking about.
Misinformation.
Misinformation, TikTok, July, you buy it. You say it's 15,000 and it's only 7. Eh?
50,000. No.
As a
Please, I
matter
don't.
of fact, let me tell you something.
Uh,
That rate that you use to calculate it is when you are sending. Okay? If you
mm,
are buying naira to pounds, it's 920.
920.
920. Do it again. Let's see,
Okay,
Omoti.
hold
How
on.
much does it
Let's
come
do
up
it
to?
again.
If you are using naira to buy pounds, this app tells me it's 920 today. So how much is
Okay,
7 million naira
hold on.
today?
No, 7 divided by 920. 7,600.
Uh-huh.
It's
So
not
it's
about, it's about £100
7,000.
difference.
So it's 7,000 pounds. It's not 15.
Yeah,
It's not even near 10.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Because
these
I'm
people,
thinking
uh,
for you to rent house here, as I don't know where they are going to live, if they are going to Scotland or they want to go to Wales. But there's
yeah,
no rent that you will get anywhere in the UK now for maybe 3 bedroom or 2 bedroom. Let's say minimum two
less than
bedroom.
£1,000.
No, 1,000 is too much. London 1,000, but over there maybe you get 700, six
Yeah,
hundred. Yeah,
yeah,
they might get
hmm
600, 700 if they go
yeah.
rural
If you go rural,
places.
yeah,
But
exactly.
if you go to rural again, how you gonna get a job?
A job, exactly.
So that money is basically 6 months rent.
Six,
A 6 months rent without food,
without food, without
electricity, council tax.
exactly.
So make them plan well,
Exactly.
well. Oh.
And a
Maybe you
lot
need
of
to.
them, and more so because in Nigeria, they're not used to paying bills. A lot of these things they generate themselves. For example, electricity, water bill, this and that. So when they now get here, it's like a shock to the system for them.
Maybe you need to
I'm
send them this video of Gloria. Mm.
I'll tell some to you, but maybe share it with them to see what they think of it. Are you still coming? This is what I mean. In their own case, they're not coming on the student visa, so they are coming on the care visa. So both husband and wife coming straight into full-time job.
Okay,
So,
Olufumi is saying that some people pay up to 15,000, that 7,000 is small. Okay. All right. I'm
but the
seeing
one
it
I
now.
know, he pays 7 million, sha, so I don't know about the
That
fifteen
people are
thousand
paying up
pounds.
to 15,000. Okay, that's all
Mm,
right. That's fine. But you need to send them that video because maybe they not say you don't want them. Like Adewale's friend now that is stranded. Because
uh,
that money is not going to last them 1 year. It
one
will
year.
not.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It will
And
not last them one
all
year.
these silly
Mm.
YouTubers that's always making videos. As soon as they land to UK, right here, the next thing is how to move to UK, how to relocate to UK.
UK, even Nigerians don't tire. The number of people
Ha!
making videos is more
If
than the number of
you have
people
no
coming.
idea how that thing upset, they've not turned London to Alabama market. Like,
Oh,
hey, come here, come here. This is how we do it here. It's
they are
annoying.
just coming. The euphoria is still on now. Now, the
They see
excitement.
free Wi-Fi unlimited. It's not
Wait
hanging. It's not
now. What's a
nothing.
jackpani? Free Wi-Fi. What's a
We that we've
jackpani?
been here for
The
years. So
reality has not set in yet.
it
Oh,
has
my
not
to
set
you
in.
one.
Oh my to you.
You know when you leave the village to go to Lagos for the first time, or if you enter plane for the first time, the excitement is there.
Oh
We
my
now
to
we are
you.
so jaded. We
Me
are
last
so
month I was
jaded.
screaming at the B my
Me,
electricity bill. I'm like, yeah, please. You see me tap pure water. I'm not selling pure water. Where's my electricity bill? It's this high. Kò tí ì yé wọn.
me, I woke up this morning looking at houses on Instagram, houses in Nigeria. That's
In
what I was
Nigeria.
looking at. That's what I was looking. Oh, as they are planning to go, and we are planning to go. That's why we need good government in Nigeria. It's houses I was looking at. This house, I was showing that I said this one is 10. This one they say is 100 million. This one they
100
say is
million
95. This one looks nice, so but it's in Lagos. We are trying to calculate it in pounds.
in pounds.
So no, let them enjoy it.
Let them
You know
enjoy
this
it
thing
though.
now. If you
You
come
know
abroad
easy.
for the first time,
Eh?
it's
Obodo
very
Oyinbo.
very.
So come Obodo Oyinbo no easy oh.
Obodo Oyibo sweet when you just
Obodo
come.
Oyinbo.
Excitement. It is well. Thank you,
It is well.
Amati.
No worries, Auntie V. Have a good
Uh,
evening.
all right,
Bye
yeah.
bye.
Later. It's very, very sweet when you just come. I give you 3, 5 years, and that time you gonna that time you be second guessing yourself. Did I make the right choice? Eh? That time you now start checking out your friends. Maybe I should have stayed though. Are my friends not better off than me? Have I made the right decision to come? I mean, you never know. You never know. You never know. Anyway, I say hello, darling. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, Auntie B, good evening.
Good
How are you doing?
evening. I am so happy to hear your sweet voice, my darling. Hi.
Thanks for
Welcome.
having me. Thank you.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
Auntie B, thank you for this topic. It's I don't understand. I've heard a lot of stories. People are stranded, in the UK, especially in the UK, right?
mm,
Um,
mm.
just the way everyone has said that do your research by yourself. Do your research. I actually studied in the UK too. I did my master's, but thanks to my parents, they paid the fees and everything before I came in here. Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you know that you are doing all the struggling and everything on your own, please do your research. If at all you have to JAPA, go to a country that has more. You look at the living expense and the rest. For example, Germany. Yeah, if I'd known better, I would come to Germany direct to do my master's. Honestly speaking, not going
Really?
to the UK. Yes.
They have university that speak English.
No, yeah, you can. They have universities that speak English in Berlin, even jobs here. I have a
Wow.
friend in the church. She got a job from Nigeria and she's not even speaking the language.
People are not so aware of Germany like that.
Yes.
Personally, I don't like that your Germany because the racism there is on another level. Mm,
It depends on where you go. It depends on the location, right?
mm.
And it depends on the location.
Do they give
So,
student visas to universities in Germany?
yes, they do. And they are
Okay.
relatively cheap. Like you have like maybe highest we spend in a year, maybe people should correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 500 euros. Some are free.
Wow. Why
Yes,
are people not aware? Let us tell Nigerians now. Maybe they will consider it. After all, it's the same distance from
yeah.
Nigeria to Europe.
The
Mm.
Cameroonians are actually taking advantage of this. What they do is that they start learning the language from their home country. Maybe they've gotten to
Fantastic.
they get to a certain level. So when they get here, I know of a friend, like personally, the brother came here and now he's doing the C1 level right now. He started from Cameroon and now he has the C1 level then so that he will start studying. So if your study requires that, start that one from your all the money you
Start
use to
learning
go to the
Germany.
UK.
Start learning
Start
German
learning
language.
exactly. Just
And you know you
spend
can
that
learn these
money.
languages online. You can even learn it on
Yes,
YouTube.
yes.
Mhm.
For me,
That's
I
another
didn't
thing.
have the
Even the ones
opportunity.
that there, do they learn the language? You are talking as if you don't know our people again. You know, just
That's
enter
the
my
thing.
mouth. The language not just enter my mouth. I know fit. I not sabi
That's
speak am.
the thing.
Do
My
they
own.
bother?
I didn't even have the opportunity to go because I didn't have the time. I have to work. But in my contract, it says that I have to have the B2. Now I've enrolled to write the B2 exam in May. I'm doing
So
self-study.
so when you got your job in Germany, you didn't understand the language at all.
I just have the A1, the very basic, and they interviewed me in German and also in English. And the way God worked, God favored me. The face-to-face interview was in English. They asked me, "Do you want it in English or in German?" I said, "Please, English." So that's how I got the job.
So were you able to are you able to do your work in English? Like your work, the work
Yes,
that your task is in English.
yeah, the work I'm doing now is actually in English. I work with an IT consulting firm, right? So they have a lot of customers that are English speaking. For example, okay, I was with the European Central Bank. That is English because there are lots of cultures there. So when you are working there, it's purely English. And now I've changed my project to another company. It's English. The
Wow.
communication means of communication is English, and people don't know this. So that's why we are saying that do your own research. Nigerians read. There is this adage that says if you want to hide something from maybe Nigerian or African, put it between the books. They will not find it. Don't hide
Okay.
it under the pillow. Don't hide it under the pillow. Put that information, that thing between the books because we are just too lazy to do that. Like you mentioned, go to the website, go to UK website, know what is required, how much is required. These people are very transparent. They're not like Nigerians that they're trying to hide, maybe try to hide something from you so that you not know. They are very transparent. You will find all the information online, you know. Um,
Mm,
but I will say again, if I on a second thought, I will have come to Germany. Highest, I will
mm,
start learning the language in Nigeria. If you have to JAPA at all, please spend that money. There are schools in Nigeria that you can learn the German language, do the
mm,
basics, there, then come here and complete it. You see Cameroonians, they just finish and they get a job.
Is it true that Germany is moving towards having English as a second language?
I don't have information on that, but
Mm,
for me, they are saying they're actually pressing towards us understanding the language, being able to communicate well. We have a lot of Indians that work here. They just put it in
mm,
your contract that you have to have the B2.
mm.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing with us, my darling. So there you are. You have the information. Kiss my baby for me. Thank you. If you want to come to Germany, go and start learning the language. Get the B1, the B1 or B2, and you get a job. People are still getting jobs from Africa. That's another thing that people don't know, that you can actually get a job. Companies can actually recruit you from Nigeria, depending on the field that you are in. Some people got their jobs, and that's the best way to come abroad, by the way. If you get recruited, they give you all the perks, they give you all your accommodation, everything. Some will pay for your flight. That's the best way to relocate. So that's free information for you there. Those of you still want to jackpot, instead of selling up your house and carrying all your 7 million naira and uh, everything that you worked and labored hard for, and you come here to for what? What? I was walking down the high street. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of jaded. I don't know. I was walking on the high street today. I was looking at the faces of the people that I saw. This is March. Everybody was looking so miserable. In my mind, I was saying, they say, this is abroad. This is UK. It's the West, right? It's a westernized country. Why is everybody so sad? Why is everybody so miserable? I walked for about 10 minutes. Everybody I saw, I don't see anybody with a smile. Now so misery. They all look sad. I beg. I don't know. May Nigeria good. People like us, our soul is permanently Nigerian. And we are in Nigeria in our spirit. We are just here physically. Jay, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, my darling. What do you have to say?
So a couple of things. I thank you for bringing this topic up. I'm actually calling from Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, I think in Canada now we're having the same influx of immigration coming from Nigeria compared to like a few years ago. I think Canada has a goal of increasing the number of immigrants that they have. And my advice for anybody that is thinking about jackpotting is, one, think about it before you come. Do you have anything to lose? Are you letting go of a lot of things? Because if you have something to lose, you should 100% have a plan B. So when I immigrated into Canada, like almost 10 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
in my early 20s, I had nothing. I had finished school, I'd done my NYC, I didn't have a job, I had applied and I wasn't hearing anything. I wasn't married, I didn't have a relationship. I literally had nothing to lose, essentially. I was taking a leap of faith to see if like I will have opportunities when I moved. And I think that's probably the best time to immigrate, when you're in that position where it's like, even if it doesn't work out, you're not you haven't sold your whole life's work just to try out another country. So that would be my first advice: is it's the best time to come is when you're in a position that, like, if you don't have anything else um for you, at least at the time when you're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Other side of it, if you are in a position where you have a family and you have kids and you have a wife and you have responsibilities, I think you should really think about it before you actually make that move. I would never ever encourage anybody to sell everything that they have to
Mm-hmm.
move, because if you do that, The thing is, especially, and I'll talk about Canada because it's the only country that I know how the system works to a certain degree. But
Mm.
things have become incredibly expensive compared to how it was 10 years ago when I came. How
Mm-hmm.
incredibly expensive. Rent is, if you want a decent place, you're looking at $2,000 a month.
Mm.
That's just rent. And if you're, and I'm talking about if you're looking at places that actually have jobs and opportunities waiting for you, the rent is incredible. Like, and then you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your kids. In
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, if you miss a bill, you can at least beg the guy and say, ah, don't worry, I'm coming, I'm coming. If you miss a bill here, it's not like you can beg anybody, right? It's such a huge risk
You
to,
know what they'll do to you in the UK? I don't know if they do it in Canada. If you don't pay your electricity bill and they keep writing and writing, and those letters, they'll first start writing normal letters, they send
yeah,
you reminders. If you don't pay the reminder, they start sending you, and the ink they will use will be red on
mhm,
top. Then they start threatening you with bailiff and all that.
yeah,
Then, after a while, if you still don't pay for a long time, they will come to your property. They have the right legally to come to your property and remove the meter
yes,
and install a pay-as-you-go meter. So
yeah,
that means if you don't charge, there is a key that you put in it. If you don't go and top it up in the shop, then you will not have gas and electricity.
yes, exactly. And it's such a harsh system. And if you're not prepared, it's such a shock to the system if you're not ready. I always recommend that before you make the move, because some people, they get so excited as soon as they get approved that they start selling everything. But you should at least save some money and save at least 6 months ahead. What is my life going to look like in 6 months? Talk to somebody that already lives in an area that you want to move to. Ask them, somebody that you trust, obviously, not someone that is going to lie to you. How much is rent in your area? How much is this? How much is that? So you have a clear picture of what it is that you're walking into. Some people will say, "Oh, my budget for rent is 800 a month." Really? With your two children, where are you going to live? So I will 100% recommend you to sell your business, sell your houses, sell all of your investments to move, especially if you have dependents, because it's a huge risk. The economy is shrinking right now in Canada, so there are a bunch of layoffs that have been happening in the tech industry. It's a harsh time to relocate, and if you're not sure, maybe pause a little bit and think about it before you make that move. I will. It's yeah. I've seen too many people get stranded. Some people have
Hmm.
um you know especially those that come with postgraduate
Yeah.
visa.
Hmm.
They're expecting to get a job, and the reality is it's not that easy to get a job, and then they get stranded because after your postgrad, if you don't have a job, then you can't apply for your permanent resident. So I would definitely recommend you to sell all you have. And if you're
Hmm.
younger and you don't have anything, holding you back, then yeah, it's a time to experiment and do and try out a country with, in my opinion, no risk. And then the last thing that I would say is have somebody that you can trust that will level with you and tell you the truth.
Would you listen? Would the average Nigerian listen, even if you tell them the truth? You are talking as if you don't know Nigerians, Jay. I
Uh,
beg, leave matter.
uh,
The average Nigerian, Shebi, you heard Omoti saying they are friends. I did not telling them the truth, but
mhm,
they won't listen. They want. It's like basically they are saying, "Oh, the kind of life you have, you don't want me to have that life. I want that life as well." So if you're trying to advise them, not saying don't come, but do it in a way that konini elara. You're not going to
exactly.
be crying tomorrow and disturbing people, looking for people to borrow you money, because trust me, nobody they borrow anybody money for abroad though. Nobody.
And
Don't tell
funny
me,
thing,
come and borrow you money. Nah. Mm-mm. Most
the
people live paycheck to paycheck, especially
yes.
this our UK. It's not like people that earn in America and South America. You earn big money. People are living paycheck to paycheck in Europe. You come and say,
Mhm.
come and borrow me money. Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
And the worst part is like, and a part of even not listening, which I'm taking your point now of people not listening, is also that false sense of I'll leave the same lifestyle that I was living when I came from Nigeria. Like, I don't know, I've seen some people where they'll just buy like large houses, rent expensive apartments. They're not really willing to put in the work because your friend has a house or your friend has an apartment. You don't know what it is that they went through before getting to that position. I don't know. I feel like somebody has to have a realistic conversation with Nigerians before they JAPA, because these countries are not offering visas because they are so kind and so generous. It's because they need somebody to do the work that probably most of their citizens don't want to do.
And people are not taking into account again the older aspect of it, the
Yeah,
cultural shock, the
yeah.
things that the isolation. If you have children, for instance, and you need daycare, the cost,
Mm-hmm.
they don't take all this into account. You understand? There are so many things that people don't take into account. Honestly, so
Yeah.
many things that people don't. I mean, thank you, Jay. I hear you. I hear you. Let me move forward because of time. I want to take everybody that's in the studio. Okay. I say you wanted to say something.
Yes, Auntie B. I had to
Mm-hmm.
come back. I wanted to BO mentioned something that you need some money deposit for Jamie. Yes, that is true. But another route is getting a sponsor. I know this because I'm actually involved in it, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
get a sponsor, you don't need that. The person just needs to write to the government that I'll be responsible for this person. Yeah, you don't need that deposit. So it
Mm-hmm.
actually saves you that money. And another thing I want to mention is some people in if you want to come here, these people look out for skills. If at all
Mm-hmm.
you want to jackpot, even though if it's English you are learning, please have some additional skills. This is what the Indians they do. If they
Mm-hmm.
are doing, if they are even learning, let me say sports, they are taking some IT courses, they are taking some other additional courses. So when they even finish that sports learning they are doing, right, sports studies, then they are getting a job immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
even for the Nigerians that are getting jobs and there, you see these companies are looking for skills that okay maybe that it's hard to find. If you get that,
Mm-hmm.
then they are ready to sponsor you. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to mention that. And for Jamie, yes, money is involved and all that, but the emphasis still goes back to do your research.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah.
my darling. Thank you. So, Esa is in Germany, so she can give us authentic information about Germany. Bio, you seem to be very interested in Germany. You don't live for Germany before.
Auntie B,
Hmm?
actually, I wanted to. I'm interested in Germany because we are trying to help our people, Jackpa, and just
You
like
want them
Essay
to
said,
jackpot? Me, I don't want
yes,
them to
now.
jackpot. I want them to stay for
No,
Nigeria.
they have to Jackpa. Everybody need to find a level now. So
Why
if
they
people
want
want to
jackpot?
move,
Nigeria will be good.
anyway, so the German route, just like Essay said, you understand, not everybody can have somebody in Germany that can stand for you. So the money is not a payment. That is the good part of it. Do you
Mm,
understand?
mm,
So that 8K that they're asking for you, you put it in a trusted account in Germany. Do you understand? So every month they will be giving you the money back.
mm,
So that way they want to make sure. And Germany at the time they had good intent, to be honest. So their intention in Germany was like, the way the world is going. So they are trying to build up a higher percentage of English speaking and all that, right?
I beg. I know,
So,
like, I
eh?
mean, I hear you, but Germany, I don't know. The level of racism for that place is beyond something that me personally, what I can comprehend. It's too
You lived
much.
there before.
No, I don't visit
Abi?
many times, and no time
Oh,
when I go there
really?
when they racially abuse me. So no, it's too much.
Wow,
It's in
wow,
your face. It's like directly in your face. I know say not everybody don't experience that, but man, it's too much. It's just too much. Me, I would not advise
wow.
any black person to carry their black ass and go to that place. Now
Really?
condition make crayfish but those people,
Mm,
no, 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 no,
okay.
no.
That's a
Majority of
valid
them,
point.
you see, a lot of them never travel come out for that country before. They've only
Mm,
lived in that country. They've not been outside to come to the United States and other country. So they don't miss with
okay.
other Europeans. So a majority of them are still stuck in
So
that
great.
their medieval thinking that they are better off. So the
Wow.
racism there is too much. Nah, nah, nah,
Because
nah.
the reason why I still share that, and
Mm,
initially, it's not to bring family matter. Yeah, my own blood brother, my own blood immediate brother, the younger brother, not immediate. I senior some before him. He was a
mm,
lecturer in Igbeneghu University. When he left that Igbeneghu University, That was where he went to Germany to study. He didn't do up to 1 year for the program. That same university in Germany retained him. He
It's not
has
to say
even,
that people are not there.
yeah.
Shebense is there.
So
Some of them are even married to German people.
German people. So
But there's no way you will not experience it.
no
You will
experience
experience
it.
it. Yeah.
Oh God,
It's too much.
wrong. I bet next person.
No. It's too much. Hey, that place. If they dash me first, I'd rather go back to Nigeria than live in that country. I mean, I've never hidden my sentiments about that country. Kudos to all of you that are living there, but me, God forbid, not me. Some people can take it. I even saw, even this week, I saw a woman on Instagram. Make una see oh, now what we dey see for Jamie be this oh, na Jamie oh, see wetin Jamie oh, saying go shop, go buy something. Say the person where they serve, no gree give am in change. He dropped the change. He no gree hand over to am. That's the kind of racism you experience. There is in your face. They not care. You go stand up for, you go sit down for train. People go stand up. Waka. Ha, I beg go. Anyway, not to let's conclude. We are not talking about racism or where people should jackpot to. We are talking about jackpotting with common sense. Yeah.
Ativi, good
Mm,
afternoon.
hello.
Listen, me, I wanted to share my own, right? I moved to America in 2009. Even me that moved with my papers, I was crying to go back. Me, where I get paper to go work Bidato, Antibi, it was not funny. So somebody that is not even coming with anything, and because somebody told you something and you want to go, I kept saying all the time, like, if you're Ajabo in Nigeria, Japa is not for you. If they get driver, they get cleaner, they get this one, they get that one, Japa is not even for you because it's a real life struggle. And we give up so much back home to come here and then come and start from the scratch. How can somebody be a manager and come back here and be doing security guard? Because nobody will hire you as a manager. You don't have their own work experience. So you're not going to move from the same level you are coming from back home and move to the same level here. No, you have to start from the scratch here and build your resume. And like you were saying, so people get international jobs. Like Romari said, she was hired from Nigeria. And people back home, they stay in one job for years and will not develop themselves. You understand? So when they travel, it's a struggle for them. So if you're working in a bank, go and take certification that has to do with banking. So when you leave, you get good tangible jobs. But you are a banker for 10 years, teller for 10 years, marketer for 10 years. So when you go and they say, what have you been doing? You will just be looking at them because you have not developed yourself. So that's why it becomes a struggle for people. And honestly speaking, people think that we're joking. I had to go and beg my father's friend's son because we were born here at the same time, went back home. He came before me in 2009 during that recession. When I called him, I told him I wanted to come back. And he said, don't come now. It's hard. Do this and do that. My auntie said, why would he tell you that? If it's hard, why didn't he come back? I carry my small $200, carry back. Enter plane. I cried. I was crying for 1 year every day. For 1 year every day straight. So it's not business. And that's me that came alone. Imagine coming with family. Daycare. The minimum daycare in America is $1,000. I don't care what part of America you stay. You don't pay.
Month?
Yes, a month minimum. People pay up to 2,000, 3,000. It depends on the area you are and the kind of daycare you're getting. This one, people like us, daycare Bidatu. It's like around 280 a week. So calculate it times 4. Even if your child goes one day, is sick the other day, that's not their business. You pay for the whole week. There's nothing like that. No, you pay for the whole week. So, and then you go with how many kids? And people don't even understand the investment it takes to go with kids. School, you have to buy their clothes 4 times in a year. You're going to buy spring clothes, you're going to buy summer clothes, you're going to buy winter clothes, you're going to buy fall clothes. It's not the same type of clothes. You have to change. You cannot be wearing jacket during summertime. So it's they'll say school there is free. It's not free. When you calculate all the stuff that you're buying for children, you borrow yourself sense. But our people don't want to hear. Our people really do not want to hear. And that's where our problem is coming from. Because they feel everybody's about it, want to go and experience. It's not about the experience.
It's about what I mean. People, you can make choices as adults where you want to live. If you decide saying abroad you want to live, fine. Nobody is saying people should not jack, but as much as we have our preference, if Nigeria was good, me I for don't pack my load run since. Honestly. But it's all about preparation. I think the whole purpose of the show tonight is about when you are coming, look before you leap. Make sure you have the information and come prepared so that you will not end up that they will be making videos about you. Pay, you are stranded every day now. You know, you
And
can't pay
see,
your school fees, you cannot pay rent.
yes,
It's
yes,
a lot of it's wahala.
it
The
is.
wahala is too
Even
much.
if you make preparation, you have to have a plan B. It's not here that we saw
Mhm.
one guy that got stranded at the train station because he was calling the agent wasn't picking, and he didn't have a
Exactly.
plan
I
B.
saw that one.
Yeah,
I
you have.
tend to just, yeah, when I see those videos, I just look and walk past.
Yeah, you have to
Mhm.
have a plan B, and people have lives. Nobody's life is going to stop because you are coming. So don't say, me and Auntie B, we are 5 and 6. Auntie B, we're able. And then when you call Auntie B, she's going to work. You're like that. Auntie B, every time I call her, she's going to work. Hey, her life will stop because of you.
No, I'm not gonna go to work. I go sit down, they wait for you. You
Allah,
do well.
and
Mm.
everything is bills. Everything is bills. People don't know. You have to pay for everything. Even the ones that you get free, there's a catch to it. In
Mm.
America, 2011, I was supposed to have a surgery, and then I didn't have insurance. So when I went to apply for the insurance, they said I have to be making certain amount of money. That's what we call the poverty clause. I could not get that insurance because I was making, I think, almost $100 more than what is required to qualify for the free insurance. I was not able to do that surgery till like 4 years later, and it ended up doing more damage than good to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
All
that's the
right.
problem. So, but God will help
Thank you, my
us.
darling. Amen. Thank you so much, Natu, my love. God bless you. Cynthia, you are saying that £800 a room in London. Where you don't believe there are rooms in London that are 800. I believe that. Yes, so you don't know. Hmm. Of course, there are rooms in London that are £800. It depends on the area. The minimum room you can get in London now since the pandemic is about, and I'm talking about small rooms, about 600. I don't even care where. It's expensive. It's not like before. It's very, very expensive. Things are no longer the same. Everything has gone up, so they charge more now. I'm talking about shared. Yes, shared apartments. Yes. There are rooms in London that is 800. Yes. Shared apartment, not flat though. Oh. Hmm. I never know what we dey talk. Rose, welcome, Jare.
Yeah, Auntie B, you see these students that comes to UK and you hear they brought houses. There's this Ghanaian YouTuber. In short, they are mostly Ghanaians.
Really?
Yeah, there's one they call Nanela Gwesia, and like three of them, and they explain the steps of how you can get a mortgage as a student in UK.
Right.
The lady came as a nurse from Ghana, and she's full-time employed. Her husband is also working. And there was this, is it IRSA, that's where you deposit money there, government is going to put in £1 on each money you save there. And at the
How did
end of
she?
the day,
Sorry, let me interject. How did
mm,
she become a full-time worker if she's a student?
yeah, I think
Because
she
whether you are
came
a
in,
student
no,
or you are
she
working,
came in from, she came as a nurse from UK, sponsored nurse from Ghana to UK.
so she's not a student.
She's not, yeah, she's no more a student, but she was formerly, she went to do a master's. That was how she started explaining this thing. I was on that show, and many people called in, and I was like, really? So students can buy houses. She's based in Belfast. She was even saying that in Belfast, as a student, these are the opportunities you get to get
That's
a
Northern
mortgage.
Ireland.
Mhm.
That's where she's based.
Yes, she's based in the Belfast. Belfast, yes, that's Northern Ireland. Yeah, that's
That's
where
Northern
she's based.
Ireland.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
a lot of our friends too called in that are students and how they bought house, because we're all like, how can students get a house? How are they entitled to mortgage? So she said she analyzed everything. You get a
So
mortgage
this is what people don't
advisor.
understand when they start talking about UK. There are four
Mm.
countries in the UK. That's
Uh-huh.
what it's called. I think that's what I was thinking, that maybe that's what we need to do in Nigeria to make
Yeah,
Nigerian work.
more
So
exactly. Belfast.
Northern
Yeah,
Ireland
Northern
is not
Ireland.
even a UK. Is it UK? Temiti is Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is in. Is it a different country again? No, yeah,
It's
it's in the UK.
UK.
It's a
Yeah.
country in the UK. It's one of the
Yes,
country in the
Belfast.
UK, but it's
Yes.
basically a country of its own.
Mm. But they
You
run the
see,
same system with UK.
no,
The
no,
same
none of them
mortgage
have the
system.
same. No country in the UK is the same. England is different from Scotland. Scotland is different from Northern Ireland. They are completely different. The only thing that joined them together is that umbrella name called UK.
United Kingdom. Okay.
Everything is different. What applies in England is not what applies in Northern Ireland, though. So
Okay,
people
yeah,
need to get their
she was
information.
really
Yeah,
advising that if you are coming as a student, it's
yeah.
better you come to Belfast because all these opportunities are there. You can get
It's
mortgage.
UK, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's not
Belfast.
England.
It's
Yeah.
not England.
I think when we talk, we mostly talk about England because a lot of us are in England and
Exactly.
Scotland, Wales. Yeah, there are Africans there, but I don't think there's as many as the Africans in England and Scotland.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they said life is cheap, house is cheap there, and life is cheap
Mm,
there for them in Belfast. That's why they can easily
mm,
get mortgage to get a house. And there was this account that they said they used that when you save there, government puts in £1 on each money you save, and at the end of the day, that money will be used for your mortgage. Not that it's money that you can withdraw to go and start doing shopping. No. So that was how
mm.
they enlighten students and they make people to see look into that. You save into that into that account.
The Ying, you like this word propaganda. This is the second time you are using it now.
Ah,
You said the caller is she's promoting propaganda that you don't like it. So okay, so
I'm not promoting it.
don't give this secondhand information because we are not sure
We are not
of
sure
its
of it.
authenticity.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's better we have first-hand information,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. It's better for people to do their own research, and that is the whole point of the whole. So whether it's mortgage, houses you want to buy, whether you are relocating, first-hand information, go do the work yourself. You
Yeah.
know.
And all
So
these
yeah,
students,
let's
they are
leave that.
making more money, because they do more hours. I know
Who?
of someone, students, they make a lot of money in my church. Most of them are students in my church. And you will hear them, and I'll be like, why putting in all these hours and extra hours? And at the end of the day, it will all go to tax. They
No,
will
but
be
you
like,
don't know something. They don't know what they are. Look, let me tell you something. If you are a student, you are a student on a student visa and you are doing more than 20 hours, they will find out. This is not Ninja that you can play the system.
no, they are
The system,
dependent. They are dependent. Go as much as doing 45 hours.
okay, you mean they are dependent, not the students
Yes.
themselves.
Yes, they are dependent. They're even doing holiday. The students say they can do more than 20 hours. And when you see them in my church sharing these testimonies every Sunday, I'm always like, hey, so we that we have been in this country since, well, we know they hear all these kinds,
What kind of testimonies are they sharing?
They will tell you how they came to this country under a year, how they've gotten their sponsorship. They make it to look so easy that you yourself, you were asking yourself, how come? You will hear one is saying, I'm working in Shell and they've gotten my sponsorship. And you hear so many testimonies, and I'm like, is it not in the same UK that we had that? Where are you people getting all these contacts and everything, So all
Sometimes
this,
maybe the information is there. Sometimes the information is there. You just need to find it. Another thing is that some people that are here, what I find is that they get complacent sometimes after a while, But other things might be out there. Some people that are hungry will look for that information and use it to upgrade themselves. And it's not all testimonies. We know sometimes some of them, I don't know. But Rose, I'm not saying what you are saying is not correct, but I'm just saying be careful. It's just like people making YouTube videos. You never know. People go on Instagram every day. We hear them every day on social media. They say they bought a house. All the actresses in Nigeria, we all, at the end of the day, we now start hearing things. So when people tell you something, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't beat yourself up. That you that have been here, why didn't you? Why did you not avail yourself the opportunity to do these things? You see what I mean, Rose? Do you get what I'm saying? Rose still low. Rose, you are gone. Okay, all right. We're ending the show now. Ebony, you're my last but not the least caller. Thanks a lot, Rose, for that information. But a lot of people are saying, let's take it with a pinch of salt, please. Don't say it's Obodo you came and you heard that the students are buying houses and they're doing things. Me, I don't know students that are buying houses. So, somebody will go and carry if you go and do Yahoo and you come and buy a house and you come and give testimony. Oh, what me if they call cash you and you know. And who follow you cry when they lock you up. Hi, Bonnie, darling, welcome.
Good evening, Sister B.
How are
Good
you?
evening, Auntie B. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. What do
I'm
you have to say? Are
fine.
you a student? Where are you joining us from?
From Essex, UK.
All right.
I used to
What do
be
you have
a
to
student.
contribute?
Yeah, I used to be a student 15 years ago. I came in for my master's, and then I didn't even pay any deposit because then things were easy. There was no money to pay before coming into the UK. So, but now things are different because my own brother came in just last year. I brought my brother in. He's in the uni doing his master's as well. So with the post-study thing, the family of 5, they'll be paying £14,000 because it's £2,000 each for per person for the post-study visa, and it's 2 years and it's not renewable. But the thing is, the government now has said that students can switch their student visa to work permit. They can switch to care visa if they want. So this is why most of the students are now taking advantage, switching their visas now, because it's better for them to switch now if they have the opportunity to like 5 years, that's 3 years and 2 years on the work visa, than going on the post study for 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, if there's no sponsorship, they might need to go back home. Or if the husband is the student in the first place, then maybe after the post study, the wife can change to student, then the husband will now depend back on the wife. Yeah, because during my own time, after my master's, I had the post study visa for 2 years, because then there was no such thing as the care worker visa. Then after the 2 years, I went back to college again. I was just studying and studying, you
Doing
know.
different
So
courses
now,
just to stay.
no, different courses. I did masters in international business at first from Cardiff, and then after then, I now had my post study visa for 2 years, and then I went for the CIMA course, Chartered Institute of Management Accounting. So I was given a 3-year visa till 2016 years. So we kept
Right.
doing it like that. Yeah, but now it's quite easy if people are proactive. They can easily switch now because now I'm trying for my brother to switch as well before his visa expires next year, January. I want him to switch now
Switch from
because
what to
if he
what?
go switch from a student to like a tier 2 visa now.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
because by the time the visa expires, you will have to apply for the post-study visa, which is £2,000. And then after the 2 years, if he doesn't see any sponsorship, then maybe he has to continue, maybe PhD or something else.
So the
So
tier 2
most,
visa, the post study visa is £2,000 for one application.
yes, per person. Yes, per person.
So
Per
the
person
family of 7, that's two
is
thousand times 7.
£14,000. Yeah,
Ah,
£14,000. Yes, it's
ó jẹ
£14,000.
gbèsè
Yes,
bá dé.
yes. And
fourteen
because
thousand pounds
yes, for
is what they
7
are looking
people, it's
for.
2,000. Yes, because the kids were
Okay.
brought in from Nigeria. I didn't mean the kids were here. During my time, my friends that brought kids from Nigeria, they had to pay for those kids. But any kids you have here when you came here, you might decide not to add them because fine, they are British citizens, prospective British citizens. So you won't add those ones. But the ones that you bring from Africa, you need to renew for them as you are renewing. So that makes it worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a whole, in fact, I don't know. I don't know. Where are they going to get £14,000 from?
That's the
Eh?
thing. I don't know where they'll get
They
it
don't
from.
qualify for anything before you say, okay, let them go and take loan. Where will they get money from?
Yeah,
They're already owing from Nigeria.
yes. Except
Hmm.
they find the care worker visa before their visa expires. If they get a care worker
Even if they
visa,
get the care worker visa, will they not pay for the visa? Will they
yeah,
not
they
pay for
will
the
pay, but it's not
application?
as much as I think it's like 600 and something pounds for that one. It's better than the £2,000 per person.
They can't give all of them care worker. Will they give the children care worker? Or the children can
No, they will
stay?
be dependent on the. I think the Gloria said the wife is the student, so the woman will get the care worker visa, and then the husband and the kids can depend on that visa. But they will still
Okay.
need to pay, but not as much as £2,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is
so
it's not a joke. Oh. This thing is
no,
not a
it's not a
joke.
joke.
Hmm.
Yeah, some people are returning their kids back to Nigeria because they don't realize that. Because I know some husband and wife with 2 kids and they're £8,000 to renew, but luckily one of them just got a care worker visa, which is cheaper and better for them. Now they know that in 5 years' time they will be settled. But it being they were meant to pay the £8,000, they were struggling. They didn't even save £2,000.
Yeah, I think it's
They
better to
were
leave the
already
children. Mm.
yeah, they want to send the kids back home.
And it's cheaper. Ticket is cheaper to buy. But then again, who are you going to send your children to? Except you have parents alive or you have trusted people, relative back home. It's not easy. Oh. That's why it's good for you to be sure. All these things, Kai, is a risk, Sha. Nothing is ever clear. May God help us. But all we can say in summary, I've done 2 hours. I want to end now. Is that please do your homework, research, find out what is going to be needed. What is going to be needed when you come here with your student visa? How much are you going to need to live on? Find out the cost of living. Especially if you are coming to England. A lot of people like coming to London. London is the most expensive place in the whole of UK. Don't even come to London. I encourage people not to come here. Honestly, it's not because I don't want them to. Obviously, London is very diverse. You see a lot of people from different backgrounds. You practically see Nigerians everywhere, which is good for you. You can make friends easily. You can get people. You can get churches. You can get people to put you through. If you have children, you go to to drop them in school. You can make friends. But it is very expensive. It is very expensive. That's why I encourage people not to come to London. It's better for you to go to places where the rent will be cheaper for you. Go to places like Scotland, Wales. The rent will be cheaper. If you get school in those places, maybe you can get a job. But then again, some people will tell you that, there are more jobs in London. People live in those places and they come to work in London, even in a corporate world, because all the good jobs are here. You know how capital cities always have the coolest jobs. But then again, you pay for it. Even the air that you breathe, you pay for it. London is very, very expensive. So people should calculate properly before coming. That's a whole lot of money. No wonder Gloria was talking about that couple. They are looking at £14,000. Where they want to see £40,000? Where they want to see £40,000? Clara said that in Scotland, Nigerian food is expensive. Eat Oyibo food now. Start eating salad. There's chicken and salad. Salad. Start eating fish and salad. Leave Nigerian food alone. If you don't eat Nigerian food for 1 year, what's going to happen to you? You can come to London and do shopping. I'm sure there are places, come on, there are places in Scotland that you do shopping. Where is that place? Edinburgh. There are a lot of shops in Edinburgh now that you can do Niger shopping. Somebody said you should go to Bristol. I don't know. You just do your homework. And the most important thing that people should take away from tonight's show is that plan the cost so that you don't get stranded. These visa fees they are very expensive. So don't come here and you'll be stranded. Be careful. If you are doing well for yourself, don't sell up and come. Maybe one of your, if it's husband and wife, one person should come first to come and touch the water. Don't sell up your houses, sell up everything and come because then you start regretting, who sent me? Because you think your friends are enjoying. You don't know what people are going through. Forget about what you are saying on social media. Do your homework, research, and make sure you are taking the right choices for yourself. It is well. May God help us. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. People are not liking the video because we've got so many callers tonight, and I didn't even ask people to like. Do we have thumbs up at all? How many thumbs up do we have? 1,100 people watching, and only 369 thumbs up. Fine, people don't like me. Okay, I'm going away now. Give us a thumbs up before you exit the video, please. If you enjoyed the information that I've just shared by all the callers that called in tonight regarding this issue of JAPA, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in my next one. God bless you guys. Bye. Thank you. Good night.